everyone, welcome to the very first video response Sunday. I get a ton of questions from people. I've been blogging for 6 years in personal finance, so I tend to get a lot of questions around everything. I mean, anything involving money. So I decided to just take a bit, put together a video of some of the more frequent questions that I've had. And what the intention is I want you to submit your questions. I want you to send me an email. That can be at derek@lifeandmyfinances.com. You can also send it through the contact tab at the top of this page, or just leave a comment at the bottom after this video is done playing. You can see that there's a comment section underneath. Just put in your name, email, and a comment, and that should go through. And then I can have a chance to respond to your questions next Sunday. So kind of exciting. And I want to walk you guys through the 3 questions that I've decided to take a look at. So, like I said, video response Sunday, answering your questions about money. Question number 1. This is one that I got a couple years ago from Craig. He says, my wife and I are 52 years old. We're debt-free except for our house that has a $75,000 mortgage. Should we take out a loan from our 401k to pay it off? It's a good question. It sounds smart. So instead of going and getting a loan from somewhere else for, say, 8% from a bank, you can just borrow your own money. After all, I mean, you put it there, you can do whatever you want with it. And it's free, essentially. I mean, you don't pay interest on it. So it's a zero interest loan. Sounds like a pro. But there's actually a lot of cons to this. So I have 4 listed out here, as you can see on the page. There's basically a loss of earning power. So if you have, say he did that, say he took $75,000 out of his 401k and put it toward his home mortgage, great, he's mortgage free, he's debt free, but he's not earning on his $75,000 anymore until he pays it back in full. So if he's making 10% per year on his 401k, he doesn't have that $75,000 in there. So in the first year, he's suddenly not earning 10% of $75,000, which is $7,500. So yes, you're not paying interest, but you're losing out on earnings, which is essentially the same thing. The other con I listed here is increased risk. What people don't understand is when they take money out of their 401k, when they borrow from themselves, there's actually a stipulation there that you not only have to pay it back over time, but if you lose your job or if you decide to work somewhere else, then you have 60 days to repay that amount. So if it's $75,000, it's probably not going to happen. So when people put themselves in that situation, it just gets really risky. Again, it sounds smart, but I definitely don't advise it. Other reasons, if, say, like Craig, he's 52 years old, he's not yet 59 and a half, I believe the age is. So he's going to pay a penalty on that withdrawal as well as tax. So if his taxable income is at 25%, he'll have to pay that, plus he'll have to pay a 10% penalty because he's not of the age where he can just withdraw money freely. And third, you actually pay double tax. A lot of people don't think about this either, but they take it out the first time, and like I said, for Craig, he'd pay that 25% tax. So he'd put it back into his 401k, he'd pay it back over time, right? Then he's going to eventually withdraw when he's in retirement age. He's going to pay tax on that money again. So he's essentially getting doubly taxed for money that he put in there many years ago. So it's not smart. I hardly ever recommend it. I've heard of a few advisors recommending that you can do it once you're over that 59 and a half years old mark. So then it becomes more of a toss-up between pros and cons. But honestly, I would rather see people just try to earn more money, pay it off really fast, and just be done with the mortgage, and then you still have all that money within your 401k. Because most times people don't have enough money in there in the first place. So why would you want to take it out? Keep as much in your retirement as you can. Question number 2 is from Denise. She says, my daughter's 16 years old. She's smart and wants to go to college, but I don't have any way of providing that for her. What should we do? This one's tough. There's a lot of people in this situation. They kind of intend to put money away into their kids' 529, which is basically a college savings plan, and they either just can't, they can't find the funds, or it just sneaks up on them. All of a sudden, their kid's 16 years old, and they don't have any money to send their kid to college. And now college is getting so expensive that it's hard for kids to pay their way through. So my solutions, the first one's really simple, but just tell your daughter, be honest with her. Give your daughter the empowerment to figure it out on her own. If she's thinking, well, my parents might contribute, she probably won't be as likely to go out and get a job or go out and do something where she potentially has a chance for scholarships in just a couple of years. And that's actually the second solution. One word, scholarships. There's a ton of scholarship money out there. I don't remember the stat, but there's millions, if not billions of dollars out there that are out there as a scholarship, but that people never even submit for, so that money just goes nowhere. I know, and maybe I'll send it into this post toward the bottom, but there's also a woman that I've heard of that's gone through college debt free, and then even through her master's debt free, purely through scholarships. She's earned over $500,000 just in scholarships. A lot of it's just based on her volunteering a lot of places and creating her resume, so to speak, to get those scholarships. So she has her own book. I would actually highly recommend it. Scholarships are the way to go. It's free money. I would much rather see a student do that than to get a federal loan. The third one I have on here is just side jobs, and that one I mean for Denise. So in other words, for her mom or dad, just to work some side jobs quick. It's not going to be beneficial with just 2 years to go to fund a 529. So I would say just gather up as much cash as you can with side jobs. That can be anything. You can do some photography. You can deliver pizzas. I mean, you can work as a waitress in the evenings or at nighttime. Obviously, it's not easy. Hopefully, it's a husband-wife situation where your husband can watch your daughter while you're out, or your wife can watch your daughter while you're out if you're the husband. If she's 16 years old, maybe she doesn't need it. But side jobs are definitely a solution. Again, not easy, but it's one of the few solutions you'll have at this point. So good luck, Denise. Finally, so for our third question, it comes from Cassandra. She says, I can't seem to get any traction on my debt, and I always end up living paycheck to paycheck each month. How do I get out of this hamster wheel? My heart really goes out to Cassandra. This can be really tough for a lot of people. And actually, listening to a podcast this morning where a woman was just, we want cash in our savings, but we just can't do it. In her case, it was that she really liked to go out to eat. She really liked to go to flea markets. She really liked to spend money here and there. They did a good job not doing kind of buying the big dumb stuff, like buying a brand new car or a brand new truck or boat or something like that. But they just liked to piddle their money away, it seemed like, and it was hard for her to get traction. I don't know if that's the same case for you, Cassandra. Maybe it's truly an income issue. But as a step one, before I even start talking about, here's what you do, and you can go make money and do side jobs like I spoke to Denise earlier. But step one is really find a reason why. And if you don't really know why you're putting money away, you'll never put money away. I mean, there's really no reason to, unless you're just a compulsive saver like I am sometimes. You probably won't ever come up with savings in your savings account. It'll just, you'll see that there's $1,000 in there. You'll subconsciously think, man, that's $1,000. That's a ton of money. I can do some stuff. And you might go on vacation and suddenly you have $100 in your bank account. So you really have to find a reason why. I mean, is it for your kids? Do you want them to have a better life than you? Is it just for you? Do you want to retire comfortably instead of living paycheck to paycheck, but always having this fear inside of you that says, I don't know how I'm ever going to make it? Maybe you just want to get rid of that. Maybe you finally want to start saving, get away from this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. So step two, obviously, is just develop a plan, come up with a budget, figure out how much can you save each month. Leave yourself some freedom to spend some money, because we all need to spend for fun. Even me, compulsive saver me, I still need to spend for fun. So put a plan together. Just be real. I mean, if you can save $200 a month, then that's great. That's more than what you typically save earlier. If you can save $1,000 a month, perfect. So finally, step three, Start by saving your $1,000 and then pay off the debt smallest to largest. So in this one, you want to set up an emergency fund. In order to get away from that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, you really have to have some money set aside. The minimum I suggest is just $1,000. That'll cover your, if you need some new tires or if you need to get your brakes done. Even if you need a new timing belt or something a little more major on your car, you should still be able to get that done for $1,000. And then while you've got that savings, you can then start to pay off your debt. And to get rid of your debts, that's when you start getting away from your paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. You can get rid of a car payment. You can get rid of a boat payment. You can get rid of your credit card payment. Once you start tackling these debts, then you can start putting money away. You don't depend on that next paycheck. You can get by with maybe 2 or 3 missed paychecks and you'd still be fine. And that just makes you breathe a whole lot easier. So I hope that helps, Cassandra. That is the last question we have. I really want to hear the questions from my readers. So submit your questions again to Derek@lifeofmyfinances.com, to the contact tab up above. I think it's advertise/contact. And then thirdly, I think in the comments below. I think that's the third one I haven't mentioned yet. So reach out. I'll probably pick 3 and I'll answer those next Sunday. Thanks, everybody.